Today we are going to discuss from the topic where we start in the last lesson. Last lesson we have stopped from Ohm's law. Before we come up with this extension of this Ohm's law, we will come up with the basic definitions of voltage, current, and resistance. We know that, as I mentioned in the previous lesson, the voltage is the amount of energy per charge move electrons in one point to another circuit. It is measured in volts. For example, voltage is the amount of pressure given for a unit charge or unit some kind of electron. So in this case, simply we can say voltage is it's a push, that is correct. The definition is voltage is the amount of energy per charge moving electrons in one point to another point in the circuit. That means if you want to pull or push an electron from one point to another point, the amount of energy should be provided by the cell. That is called the voltage. Then if you come up with the definition, current is the rate of flow and it is measured in amperes and unit is I. So simply we know that current is the rate of rate of flow of the charges, right? How much of a rate, how fast the electrons are moving from another point. I mean, how many electrons per second or how many coulombs per second is the current where we measure the current where we measure as current, right? Or other than that, simply simple formula for current is current equals to charge divided by time, right? The next case is the resistance. Resistance is opposition of the flow of charges for the current. That is the simple definition of the resistance. So we need this basic concept, right? Then we know that if you provide a push or some kind of, if you provide energy from a cell, when the electrons can travel through the devices over here and it will come back. So this is a DC circuit. What do you call a DC circuit? DC circuit means it's a direct current circuit. What do you mean by this direct current? That's another important point where we have to understand. Direct current is if you measure the voltage or current throughout the time, it's a constant current. If we say the battery is 1.5 volts, throughout the time the voltage is constant, right? Or if you draw the current circuit even, you can say the same thing of it. You can say the current flow from a battery is always in the same direction. One end of the battery is positive and other end of the battery is negative, as shown over here. The direction of the current flow from positive to negative, and this is called a direct current or direct DC. The current is flowing from one end to another point, and this what you call the amount is same throughout the time. That is what you mean by the DC current, right? So when you are with the definition, the direction of the current flow should be same and the amount also should be same, right? Then when you come up with the what you call AC current, that is called alternating current. Alternating current. For example, if you get a current from a dynamo or something, with the rotation of the dynamo, the current, the voltage and the current varies. Voltage and the current varies. Oh, that or other than that, the direction of the voltage is here. The direction of the voltage is this is positive and this is negative. Positive, negative, positive, negative. With the time to time, it alternatively changes. This kind of a voltage or current is called a alternating current circuit or alternating voltage circuit, right? If the voltage alternates, so that's the current. When the voltage is positive, the current in the direction is clockwise. So we can say that current is going from one side over here. One side, when the voltage is negative, the current is goes to the other way around. This is possible, children. If you use a device like a dynamo, we get alternating current. In our household current, even the alternating current, we get AC current. But it happens very fast. That is why we cannot identify the direction changes from a lightning bulb, right? Then what you can get here is when the voltage is negative, the current is to the opposite direction. That's the fact we have given. This type of current is called the alternating current or AC. So simply we can say if the current or the voltage varies with time alternatively, we call it's a alternating current. How do you say it? If the voltage or current varies with time alternatively, we call it's a alternating current. So these simple definitions we need to understand about the rest of the facts in this topic. Right. If I repeat back, if you say if the voltage or the current does not changes with the time along with its direction, we call it's a DC current. If I repeat it back, if the voltage or current does not changes with the time and the direction also does not changes, we call it a direct current or DC current. If the current, sorry, if I go back, the current or the voltage alternate or changes with time, we call it's an alternating current or AC current. That's a simple definition, right? Okay. Then let's come up with the series and parallel circuit. We have already learned over here. You can say here the resistors are connected one after next, and this kind of a circuit is called a series circuit. Then what are the other facts where we can learn about a series and a parallel circuit? In series circuit, the current through the each of the component is same. You can see when the current start to travel from here, it travels at the same amount of current. There is no way of changing the current. That is the other important point where we can see in a series circuit. The current, if some kind of electron, suppose that 10 electrons are start to travel from here. So there is, the resistors cannot eat electrons. So therefore, you can say if the 10 electrons come over here, same 10 electrons travels through. Here also same 10 electrons travels through. Here also same 10 electrons travel through. Therefore, the current is throughout it same. But there's a property where we can understand the voltage across the component is sum of the voltage across the component. That means if you provide 10 volts over here, this 10 volts share among these resistors. Not equally, it depends on the amount of the resistor. Right. So you can say, I suppose that if it is 9 voltage given over here, this may be 3 and this may be 5 and this may be 1. Like that it shares. It's the way we can where the voltage sharing we will learn a little bit later. So in a series circuit, the resistors are connected one after next. Therefore, the current is same throughout the circuit and the voltage, the voltage share, what you call given by the cell, is shared among these resistors. That's the other fact where we can understand. So when you come to the parallel circuit, here the voltage is connected over here. You can understand that all these like here, if you connect a what do you call that some kind of cell over here, just like this. If I just draw a cell, then if I connect a cell battery to these two terminal, from here and here, you can see if it is some kind of a voltage, the same voltage work across all of these resistors. Here the voltage also is V, here the voltage also V, here the voltage also V, right? Then the voltage is same in a parallel resistor. Voltage is same in parallel resistor. But the current shares. Suppose that here some kind of a current comes over this terminal I, that current shares among these devices. Suppose that this is then I1, this is I2, and like that it comes over here, I3, IN. I just mark it as IN. Then what you can get here is that the current entering from this terminal I, this I would be similar to how much? Similar to the sum of these I's. I1 I2, IN, etc. That is other feature where we can see with our circuits in a series. Here, the voltage is equal and current shares. Here, if you give the voltage over here V, and if the current is over here I is constant. Throughout the circuit, I is constant. Here you get V1, here you get V2, here we get V3. For this case, the current is constant, but voltage shares among the devices. V equals to V1, V2 plus V3. That's how it comes. Right. Okay. Then that is the way of identifying the voltage and current in series and parallel circuits. Right. Hope you can understand that. Let's go to the next slide. Right. Then the same fact we are going to mention the same thing, current and the voltage fact, which I mentioned the previous ones. Then in a series circuit, how do you find the total resistance? That's a other important point. So if you want to find the resistance, we can add them algebraically. We can add them algebraically. So for example, if I just draw a circuit like this, yeah, we'll draw like this. Suppose that if you get, I will just draw a circuit like this, where I'll suppose that you get some kind of a cell, and there is a few resistors. You can see all the resistors are one after next. There the circuit is not break up. Right, this is 10 ohms, and this is 20 ohms, and this is 50 ohms, suppose. So I want to find out what is the total resistance in the circuit. So simply we can work out the total resistance is 10. Just it's like this. Yeah. Total resistance is, you can simply say this is equals to 10 plus 20 plus 50. Answer is how much? Simply you can say it's 80 ohms. Right. Okay. Like that you can get the resistance over here for a what do you call that, series circuit, and the voltage over here. So if you want to find the voltage over here, that is the addition of all of these three voltage. Three, or you can add more resistors if it is so. Yeah, the addition of all these should be similar to the voltage over here, right? Okay. Then if you come across this kind of situation, right? Then this is for a series circuit, no? If it is a parallel circuit, what kind of a circuit is that? We can, the cell is like this way around. The battery. The resistors are connected like this. Okay, suppose that this is 2, and this is, we will get it as 4, and I'll get this one again as 2. Therefore, this amount you can find the total resistance over here, the total resistance. So this total resistance, you can say this is, how do you get it? 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 2, right? Then the answer is, if you simplify this is another important point. 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2 is 1. 1 plus 1 over 4 is 5 over 4. So over here, we know that 1 over r is 1 over 5. 5 over 4, sorry. If I just write it, I'll just brought this correction over here, this calculation. 1 over R is 5 over 4. We need to find the value for R. What you can do? You can change the upside down and you can write R is equals to how much then? 4 over 5. 4 over 5 would be the total resistance for this circuit. And as I mentioned over here, the current coming over here share among all of these resistors according to the resistor proportion. We will learn how do you find the resistor proportion a little bit later, right? Okay, that is how you need to do this section. Okay, let's go to the next one. Right. Then as I mentioned over here, if you provide a series circuit, these are the two resistors connected over here. When you provide some kind of a potential, the same amount of current travel through, you can say that the water traveling from this end, the same amount traveling through this. Therefore, the current is similar for a series circuit. Here you can see these are three different resistors which is in parallel. So you can understand that some amount of water comes over here. It shares among these three resistors. But remember that you cannot say the same amount travels. So it depends on the what you call diameter of the hole, the size of the hole of these pipes, just like this. So if the pipe is too big, what you can say, a higher amount of a resistor can travel through, like that. It varies among, depends on the size of the hole, like that, depends on the resistance, the current coming over here share among these two, right? Let's go to the next slide. Right. Then the other fact we are going to understand is the advantage of the parallel circuit. Let's firstly read out the facts, then we will try to discuss this, right? Okay. Parallel circuits have two big advantage over the series circuit. When the first one is, if the device in the circuit seems to be full battery voltage. So you can say, as I mentioned in the previous diagram over here, the voltage is, yeah, if the voltage provided over here would be the voltage throughout the circuit. Therefore, the what you call the whatever the amount of voltage provided by the battery is gained by the resistors. Therefore, the voltage is fully utilized. Each device in the circuit may be turned off independently without stopping the circuit flow of the other device in the current circuit. Let's draw a small diagram and try to understand that. This is a cell, and these are the two resistors. Right, like that. Here these are the two resistors, R1 and R2. Now you can see the voltage provided over here V. The first advantage is if you provide a voltage over here, the same voltage works over here. Therefore, we don't see any voltage drop. The same voltage travel through. That's a first advantage, right? The second advantage is suppose that this circuit breaks down. What happened? Then the current won't flow over here, but the current still can flow through this circuit because it's not break up. As a result, without disturbing this circuit, if you want, you can switch off this circuit. Or just like in our house, what you call bulbs are connected in parallel, not in series. So if you want to switch off one bulb, you can easily do it without disturbing others. You can understand that if this circuit is not there anymore, even if I erase this circuit, what happened? It doesn't make an impact to the other circuit. This one can be work up, right? Okay. Right. That's the second one. Those are the facts we are going to learn about. Advantages and what do you call that? Advantages of this one. So what would be the disadvantages? That's the other fact we have to understand, right? Let's see with the, yeah. Then those are the advantages, and what are the disadvantages over here? The disadvantage of this one is the current is shared. You can see some part of a current comes over here, this current is shared among these two ones. So therefore, the disadvantage over here is if you want to operate a device using a higher current, sometimes a parallel circuit may be not suitable for that. That is the disadvantage of a parallel circuit, right? Okay. Then, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next part of it. That is the Ohm's law. In last lesson, we have already learned the Ohm's law. It's a relationship between voltage and current. So I mentioned that if the temperature is constant, voltage is proportional to the current, and we got the formula V equals to IR. These are the different subjects here. The I is subject format of the Ohm's law, right? Okay. Then these are the kind of a prefix we have to learn. Then if you come across with this, a 4-volt battery is placed in a series with 2 ohm resistor. They ask about what is the current. So simply we can apply V equals to IR. Then we can say 4 volts equals to 2. Therefore divided by 2 is 2 amps. That would be the current over here, right? Then if you get these kind of multiple resistors, if you want to find the current, first we need to find the total resistance of the circuit. Total resistance of the circuit. 110 supplies loaded to the resistance. 3 ohm, 5 ohm and 7 ohm respectively find the current in the circuit. Initially we can find the total resistance. To find the total resistance, since this is a series circuit, you can add them together like this way. 3 plus 5 plus 7, it's 12 ohms. Then we can apply V equals to IR for the total circuit. V is 10, R is 12. This should be 9.17 amps. That is a simple way of getting the answer for this, right? Then this is the most important point. They ask about a 220 is connected in parallel with a load. It has a resistance of 5 ohms and 10 ohms. I think the answer some because that the diagram is yeah, it's like yeah. So it should be not 50 and 100, but I just made a mistake. It's 5 and 10, right? Find the total current and I1 and I2. So simply what you can do is, we know that here the voltage is 220, means what is the voltage over here? If it is a parallel circuit, I mentioned you that voltage is same thing as over here. So here the voltage is 220. Here also the voltage is 220. Therefore, we can find out for the first circuit, we can put V equals to IR. V is 220. Resistors is 5. So simply understand that in a parallel circuit, the voltage of the supply is similar to the voltage of the resistor. Here, the same voltage provided over here. Here also they provide the same voltage. Therefore, simply we can apply 220 divided by 5, it's 44 amps. And for the second circuit, V is 220, this one is 22 amps. Then what you can do is, children, yeah, right. So that is the way of getting the current over here, 44 plus 22, right? Let's see. Then you can simply say the current traveling through this one is how much? Here, we already found that, sorry, this is not the circuit. We know that here the current is 220 divided by 5 is 44 amps. Here the current is 44 amps. Here the current is how much, children? It's 22 amps. 22 amps. Therefore, if the 44 travels from here and 22 travels from here, what would be the current traveling from this side? That should be similar to how much? 66. Simply we can find the value where 66, because when 66 comes, 44 travels over here and 22 travels from here. We have already learned in the parallel circuit the current coming from the source or the battery similar to the current addition of the individual resistors, right? So that is from there, you can say 66, right? That's how it comes. But in this case, no need of doing this calculation. This is kind of the same way. There's another way of getting this. The calculation, what they have done is they found the total resistance of the circuit using the parallel circuit. After that, they put V equals to IR for circuit. So if you feel like hesitating, don't nothing to worry. Just ignore this bit. Right? Let's go to this bit. They ask about find the total voltage and the total resistance of the load of the total current is 15 amp. And the total current is 15 amp and it has R1 of 6 ohms and R2 as 6 ohms. Right. Let's see how to do this. Initially, what you need to do is here we know that the total current is 50. Initially, let's try to find out the total resistance over here because we need to find it's a relation. What are the facts available here is that we know the total current over here. The current coming over here is how much? 15. We know that it's 50. And this current is consumed by both of these ones. If you want to find the total voltage, what you need to find is we know the total current, we need the total voltage, therefore we need to find the total resistance. How do you find it? You can apply 1 over R is equals to 1 over 2 plus 1 over 6, right? Then if you get the LCM, we can say that this amount is how much, children? This amount is 3 over 6, 1 over 6, 4 over 6. It's 4 over 6. It's 4 over 6. Then it's 1 over R is 4 over 6. Therefore, R is equals to how much? R is equals to 6 over 4. 6 over 4, it's 1.5. It's 1.5. Then we know that current is 15. Resistance is, total resistance is 1.5. Therefore, we can apply V equals to IR for that. Right, IR. We'll do it. If you apply V equals to IR, voltage is, we don't know the voltage, current is 15 and resistance is how much? 1.5, right? It's 1.5. Then this voltage become 22.5. Yeah, now we know this figure, 22.5. Then they ask, yeah, so I think now you can copy down this, the answers over here. And we need to find it has 6 ohms and this much. Find the total voltage and total resistance of the circuit. So that one you can find it, right? That's how you can do this question. Okay. Let's go to the next. This is solution, but we can come across, right? Our next lesson, we will learn the electrical power, AC and DC circuits, right?